Waiting for it to connect. There we go. We live there.
Disabled man dies after ICE kidnaps his father.
Yup.
Yo. GGP already?
Welcome to the space where the truth gets spoken. Trap snares popping, hands up, energy open. Where the chains get broken and the culture stays golden. We move with grit, say grit. We rise with grace, say grits. We push for progress. Progress. No justice.
No sleep.
Snare snapping, keep that bounce alive. Unapologetic, black, unfiltered, unshaken. We the future in motion, history in the making.
Let's go.
Every step, every voice, every beat that we speak. We the rhythm of the people rising week after week. From the block to the ballot, the mic to the streets. We bring fire to the system till the mission's complete. Turn it up, let it hit, let it rise in your chest. This is power, this is purpose, yo, we won't rest. So lean in, tune up, let your spirit digest. This is grit, grace, and progress.
Yeah, feel that.
Hold that, let it settle in your soul.
Grace, power in the place.
Grace and progress, say it.
Grace, power in the place.
Grace and progress, say grace and progress, grace and progress.
What's going on, everybody? It's Grit, Grace, and Progress. We streaming live on YouTube. We're on a private Facebook group. I ain't gonna let the name out because I don't want y'all. We're on a private Facebook group. I ain't gonna let the name out because I don't want y'all trying to get up there and hack our stuff, man. You know how they be infiltrating. They already cut me off of Facebook every time I say something controversial. So you don't even see me put stuff on Facebook like I used to because they've been throttling me down. It's like people don't respond, and then I see other people posting stuff controversial, and it's like, why is it me? Then I say, I'm in Texas. They probably got my whole house hacked and bugged by now, you know. So, and that's something that I'm going to bring to the table also about being unapologetically who I am. But before I even go there, we're gonna just ask how you guys. How was y'all weekend? We got E.B. Smith, got my man Greg. How was y'all?
Peace.
How was y'all a weekend? Like, I know it's been cold, but what's been going on?
I gonna say I know it's been cold, but it's Cleveland, bro. I flew in from Virginia for my job. That's how I'm doing, and I've been dealing with that for the last 3 days.
Right. I hear you. I hear you. What about you, Greg?
That's what you get for leaving. That's what you get for leaving. See, if you keep up with it, you don't have to do that. See,
Right.
I'm still going to my dad's 3 times a day, and I got to leave here a little after we close down shop. And because when the daycare closed, grandma daycare pops up, and she's like, "I'm running away from home." So,
Right.
what can you do? It's too cold to do anything. It's too cold to go anywhere.
Right.
So,
Well,
But we love Cleveland. I do.
Well, it
That's
hit
what we
us. It
got
hit
to
us
do.
pretty good, man, with all this freezing rain we had on Friday night. But you know, I thought it was gonna be kind of relaxed, and then about midnight, I walked outside. It was like ice on top of ice on top of ice, you know, and not the ice that's throwing people in prison and shipping them off to other countries. We're talking about, you know, the water turned frozen type ice. But
That's as slick as that ice, though.
Nah. Yeah, they couldn't handle that kind of ice because they already done slipped into enough stuff already. So you don't need them slipping into nothing else. Well, yeah, man, that ice is something else. But amazing what we saw that happened Saturday. If you guys kept up, if no one knows what's been going on, that ICE had a shooting, another shooting. It's the 9th shooting. Is it this year or since the administration started? I think it's just this year. Might have been
Yeah,
9
2
shootings
this year. 9 shootings.
9 shootings already, and the last 2 have been non-melanated people. Say it that way. And so
right.
there's been a lot of outrage. President Trump this morning walked back a little bit about bringing some people out of ICE. They just sent Holman down there to be the mediator between the state of Minnesota and Homeland Security, or Department of, what do you call it? Yeah, Homeland Security or whatever it's called, DHS or HDP, whatever they call they team. But
Goon Squad. Go ahead.
yeah, Department of Homeland Security. So they're going to be. I was playing around with the acronyms, but he's going to be like their mediator. So you would think it has to be serious for them to send somebody that's head of border security to Minnesota to be a mediator. That lets me know that things are getting bad enough to where the messaging isn't accurate on the government side, and there's messaging from the state, and everything is conflicting right now. The state is saying one thing, the government is saying something else. So I want to show this video. Hopefully things play right. They don't cut me off. But I'm going to play it anyway. Y'all know how I can get, we'll get it back in and get y'all connected back up. But let me just find this video. And we're going to play this because it showed conflicting things that bothered me. And when I say it bothered me, it made me feel like we're getting a story, we're getting information, we're seeing one thing, but the information that we're receiving is different. And it's almost like you step back, it's like, did I really see that? Or you start questioning, what did you really see? Based off of the information they're giving you. So I'm going to play this video. Why is it so blurry? But we're going to play this video and see what happened. I want to take our people off this screen right here. I'm going to take you guys off, let you all just see the video. We don't have to have our pictures up there. Stand by.
There's no evidence that he was perpetrating violence. And there's no evidence, unless you have it, and we'd love to see it if there is, that he was intending to massacre law enforcement, other than the fact that he was there and he had a gun lawfully.
He meant to be there beforehand. Again, Dana, he came there beforehand.
How do you know that?
For a reason.
How do you know that?
Because he was there.
But all he was doing was filming and documenting it, which is legal. He was carrying a gun, which in Minneapolis is legal.
I didn't say it wasn't. And I didn't say it wasn't legal.
So then what did he do that was illegal?
Assault federal law enforcement when he does that. That's an active law enforcement crime scene.
Where do you see in the video that he was
decided to enter into?
Where do you see in the video that he was assaulting law enforcement? Because from everything we have seen, law enforcement was assaulting him when he was there trying to help another individual.
Dana, law enforcement doesn't assault anyone. Follow directions of law enforcement. Follow directions of law enforcement in an active crime scene. It's very evident he didn't want to do that. Very evident that the other individuals didn't want to do that. And it's too bad the consequences had to be paid because he injected himself into that crime scene. I can't say that enough. He made the decision to go there. We didn't make the decision to talk to him. We didn't even know that individual was in existence until he...
So, did you hear how he kept walking that back and changing it? He used two key things. He was armed and he inserted himself into a situation. That was a repeat. That's when I was telling you those things, when you see something, but you're hearing something else. And it's like, they say it so many times. And for those who don't see it, that's what they're going to know. And that's what they're going to take as fact.
This is a process they've always done. This is constant, right? Part of the chaos is they convince good people to see things the way they see them, even though they're bad, right? My prediction is not long after this mediator arrives in Minnesota, you'll start seeing state officials backtrack as well. This is very common, right? Government officials all work together, right? They're all trying to get voted in. Unfortunately, people lose their lives. But let me go back to something he said. He brought up guns. He brought up a guy that showed up with guns. First of all, y'all the ones been pushing Second Amendment since God knows how long. Second of all, we all saw that the gun was pulled away from him. It wasn't pulled out of his body before he hit the ground. We all saw y'all shooting him after he was down on the ground. Let's just take that place right there. That is what we saw. Now, again, when the person arrives as a mediator, that video won't be shown as much. And this is the problem I have with just not, well, Democratic officials. When they get bullied, they backtrack. So now it's going to appear that Trump is going to be on their side, and let's see if we can squash this because we all getting bad media. And then when he gonna do a bait and switch on them. As soon as they let go and simmer down a little bit and get all the crowds out of the street, he's gonna go back to being Trump. This is, again, they try to trick us.
I beg to differ, because what I know about the Trump that I've seen over the last 2 terms is that he does nothing but double down on dumbness. So he's going to double down and say people were the problem for why they got killed. Now you see the man directing traffic, filming what's going on as they show up into the neighborhood, and until they started messing with that lady and pushed her down on the ground, he was not going over there, but that was his neighbor. He lives there. He works there. See, we're talking about people that didn't come with their AK-47s across state lines to go join them, you know, like some other folks got killed in the past. He did not insert himself into any situation but taking care of his neighbor. And I'm going to take care of my neighbors. I have to live with them, right?
Took care of his neighbors. I mean, to see that gunshot, it's no different than all the gun shootings that we've seen that happen in the African American community for the last 20 years, right?
Right.
This now is starting to reach a point where now even the I was to say normal non-melanated people are starting to go, wait a minute, something's wrong here. We all know that they're going to come to us, right? We all say, oh, they're getting the immigrants, but next going to be, who's going to be next? Well, we find out who's going to be next. We thought it was going to be the black folks. Unfortunately, it's not. It's them.
9 shootings this year, and the 2 names that you hear now most are the 2 white ones, because you didn't hear the other 7 melanated people, and we're only 26 days into this year.
What was it? Keith Porter got shot. The black dude got shot New Year's Eve. He was shooting in the air. A cop came up, off-duty cop, and shot him in. Was he shot him in the back maybe, or did he shoot him? I can't remember if he shot, but he shot him, and it was like he thought about he had a gun pointing at him. He's like, no, he didn't. People that were there saw it. So that's what I was getting back to, the point of how the narrative is presented. We've seen this repeatedly from day one, because like Dana Bash from CNN was trying, that's where I got that video clip from. She was trying to say from the beginning, like, the first thing that Kristi Noem said was, this guy came armed, ready to massacre agents. He's a domestic terrorist. And if you say something like that before anything is known, you've set a context or set a narrative for public perception.
Through your rhetoric.
Through rhetoric. You set that perception. So when none of these people can answer that question, they did it again at the press conference today. I was watching Caroline Leavitt at the White House press conference today, and that question came up by one or two people, I can't remember, but she kept saying that they inserted themselves into the situation.
No.
You put his situation and compare it to Kyle Rittenhouse, who inserted himself into a situation definitely with AR-15, versus this guy. If you look at the video, he stood between police and that woman that got pushed down by ICE, and then they grabbed him. So he never had a chance. They sprayed him first. They sprayed him first. But he never had a chance to. There was never a point where he was attacking them.
He never reached to his back for his gun. His gun was holstered behind him.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing is, look what we're discussing, right? They're hoping, even in their foolishness, their foolishness caused us to be distracted about all of the facts that we already see. We don't have to argue the facts, right? We see them.
Right.
But we can spend more time talking about the facts and how they look different from them. Meanwhile, what's really happening is a rehash of what they did to MLK, right?
Right.
COINTELPRO, the counterintelligence program by the
Right.
FBI. They did the exact same thing to Martin Luther King, the same thing with W.E.B. Du Bois.
Right.
And they continue to do it. Okay, doctored photos of him with other women. So, trying to get him to commit suicide, messing up his momentum. This is what they've always done. And so the only thing we can do is recognize the history, recognize what they're going to do, and fight back.
Right.
We need to come back together and figure out what we need to do as a group. The problem is we're going to continue to argue the point. Now, there'll be some people right now, and I've heard it, we shouldn't be inserting ourselves into a fight of white people. To me, at this point, if it affects them, I got news for you. It is going to affect us.
Right.
It's going to continue to affect us. That's just the way it is. And that's the argument constantly made. Before, it was a lady who, I think she was gay. I don't know if she was, Renee Good. But now they wanted to have us fighting against her because she was a gay. It's foolishness.
Yeah.
They're the ones that fought. They're the ones that's causing the problem. We need to deal with them.
Yeah, but that gets to my question I was going to ask about what will the breaking point be. So you made a good point, EB, because this is something that's been stirring up. I mean, you could go all the way back to George Floyd. That was one of the moments where I take it back even further. Michael Brown and Trayvon Martin, when that incident happened, and people of color was saying this is what they do to us. There was a group of people, a segment of people who weren't impacted by police brutality, who was like, that's hysteria, or comply, or just don't fight back, don't run. These things were heard repeatedly. Then we have George Floyd, where you see this on tape, where the world saw it more so than what people saw with Trayvon Martin, because it wasn't videotaped, or with you saw some with Michael Brown. But it's every time you get video, more and more reality sets in for those that aren't impacted. Now you look at George Floyd, was like the first time our country, really the world, came together in unity in the sense of speaking out against, excessive force.
Right.
White, black, Asian, gay, straight, married, divorced, Republican, Democrat. You saw all these groups of people who came in and said, this is not right. Now we move to this year. Again, that was under the Trump administration. You come back this year again under his administration.
Thank you.
You have these shootings. And now you see majority white people protesting, majority of them. And the thing about it is not that there are white people protesting. It's what are they protesting? They're protesting the civil rights of immigrants that are here legally. When I say legally, is they may have crossed the border illegally, but they're going through the process of getting documentation. So the neighbors and these co-workers and people are standing in the gap, protecting them. Well, in the midst of stepping in the gap, they're getting, smacked around, beat up, and now killed. Now that reality that EB said is that this is something we've been telling y'all about for decades and centuries. Now you see it from our perspective. The question is, what happens when this is over with? Are those same people going to keep that perspective, or are they going to go back to their comfort zone of this can't happen to me? Because the breaking point
is not going to end well.
Right, but the breaking point has to be that those who are now affected or impacted, or they feel that compassion and empathy for what's going on, to stay here in that moment. Go ahead.
You're trying to speak to their humanity, and humanity is not the issue for them. It is all a flex of power. So who has the power? You have the state, which is not perfect, nowhere near perfect. We saw that with George Floyd. But there was a process and a standing on the law, right, where you have now this threat of military. We're just going to overrun you with people that work for a federal agency, and we're just going to call them law enforcement. Just because you have the ability to detain does not make you law enforcement. I was a federal officer. I worked for the post office for 39 years. That didn't mean that I was law enforcement,
Right.
but they keep throwing rhetoric out there to make people believe that these people are authorized, and it's just Trump's personal militia.
Yeah.
I remember what the slave catchers did.
Yeah.
You know, they were all deputized to go find slaves, but they didn't go find runaway slaves. They went looking for black people. Check
Yeah.
out 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
It's a man that was already born free,
Yeah.
and he still got hemmed up.
Yeah.
and
So these are
mislost his
practices
life.
that they practice.
So-
People become good whatever they practice.
Yeah.
They practice this so
So-
much. Mars, you said something. You said, "What is a breaking point?"
So what?
right?
That's where I want to go. What is the breaking point?
What is the breaking point? We have reached it. Let me. So you asked an
No,
earlier question. You
haven't
said
reached it yet.
you asked an earlier question about now Trump seems to be, kind of acquiescing a little bit. No, let me tell you what he's doing. Just what you said. Now there's some Republicans who are now saying that this is wrong. He's trying to save face. He's not stupid. He knows that the midterms are coming. He's doing everything he can now because he's lost control of the narrative. He knows it. Nobody plays media better than this guy. I have never seen anything like this in my life. It's not that he's the most evil person we've ever saw. He's the most evil person that we mistakenly thought was going to be good. That's the problem. He sold himself as a savior, and now even the people that elected him in are starting to see that he is foolish, reckless, careless, and everything he does is sloppy. It's sloppy. So sending this guy here and coming here,
But
he's
that's a
gonna try to
deadly
clean it up.
mix. That's a
again?
deadly mix. He's
a deadly
going to
mix.
take the
Okay.
military. He's going to take the military and send it against the National Guard. And then you have friends and neighbors, and you have another hot civil war. Right now, they're fighting a cold civil war. It's a cold civil war because it's all about rhetoric and confrontation and flexing, and this is what we need to do, and this is how we. You know what? Come on, y'all. You have to start standing on something.
Right.
Take care of your neighbors and take care of your family.
So this is what when I mention breaking point, this is what I see. I'm just being honest with you. The breaking point, and I don't want to see this, but this is what I believe ICE is anticipating, or the administration is anticipating. When people start retaliating back, that's the breaking point, because then our country has to come with a realization: are we going to fight this out, or do we want to sit at the table and discuss this? Because people are now not only on one side dying, now the other side is starting to die.
But they're not going to sit at a table.
Well, I just gave that as a what's the word I want to use? A metaphor. There has to be a conversation. There has to be a conversation, because that's when it's going to get out of hand. I can't imagine we just going to be shooting at each other. ICE versus the American citizens, or ICE and their supporters. I don't think at this moment that's the time. I don't think at this moment.
When did you ever consider that they would take a congressional subpoena and say, I don't agree with your right to issue me this subpoena, so I'm not going to show?
That's not killing nobody. It's not killing nobody yet.
Let's look back to our recent past.
Yeah.
Because history repeats itself, or at least it rhymes.
Yeah.
So who's going to come to the table? You've already got the Department of Justice saying, well, I need you to do these 3 things and give us all of your voter rolls, and then we'll remove the troops. Come on, man.
Only thing I'm saying is that retaliation hasn't happened. Right? Retaliation hasn't happened. How long does it take?
We got dead bodies on the street. What do you mean retaliation ain't happening? It's happening.
Who are the dead bodies? Who are the dead bodies? They're not the government officials, the agents.
Mr. Preddy,
Hear me.
Ms. Good.
So what I'm saying is, those that are supportive of those people, when they start retaliating, when Mr. Preddy got shot, what would have happened if people start shooting at ICE that day? That's the retaliation I'm talking about. I'm not saying.
Here's something you don't know.
What's that?
That on February 4th, ICE is scheduled to come into Springfield, Ohio, they have a list of about 200 names to go in and get undocumented people, and that's been passed around. How you think that's going to turn out?
Look where he's going, Springfield.
Springfield, Ohio.
What if he did that? What if that was the notice going into Columbus, Ohio, or Cleveland, Ohio, or Toledo,
news for you
Ohio?
guys.
It wasn't going to be like that.
He hasn't been in New York.
He
Why is this not happening in New York? Why is this not happening in California?
right.
Listen, this is strategic.
Yeah.
This is, again, go back to the FBI's early COINTELPRO programs. They specifically are doing things to rattle what they think is weak states.
Yeah.
And let's face it, he did not win Minnesota, right?
Right.
He can't trick the Congress to flip the charts and win it again, right? Anything he can do to make the state look unbalanced,
Yeah.
he's gonna do it. He's gonna do everything he can to make sure that whoever he wants to win in this next presidential election can do it. Greg's right. It's all about who controls the power, right? Who controls the power. He's got this lesson. He's got this lesson very well. He learned it from somebody named Roy Cohn. Roy Cohn showed him how to do this stuff, right? This is something that he's done. He trained him to get the people to go against each other and all these other things, right? So he's going to continue to do this. And so, to your point, right, the people haven't retaliated in the way you think they should retaliate. But Mars, I think...
Oh, that's not
that
how
there's
I
some
think
people-
they should. I'm just saying breaking point. What is the
Well, the
breaking?
breaking point is right. Fight fire with fire. But I think that there's some people somewhere trying to figure out how we're going to do this legally. Because let's face it, some of the people with guns aren't going to use them. Let's just face it. You know some, and I know some. They got a bunch of guns, and if a cat outside knocks on their door and tell them to open their door, they open the door rather than pull a gun on them. Right? Some people are not going to use the guns, and they know that. But those people actually are good lawyers, good attorneys, know how to read paperwork. And that's where I think we're going. As upsetting as this all is to us, if we don't pass laws and legislation to combat this, this is going to happen again. It will not stop.
Yeah, I did find that information, Greg, about the Haitians. I got a question for you. Do you know why DPS is coming to Springfield?
Let me read what I.
They're eating the dog.
Well, no, I got the information. No, I have the information, but I want to tell you why this is going to still be a disgruntled thing. So what it says here, reports indicate that the Immigration and Customs Enforcement actions are anticipated in Springfield, Ohio in early February 2026 as a temporary protected status. TPS has for an estimated 12,000 to 15,000 Haitian residents is scheduled to end on February 3rd. That's the main factor there. That protective status that they have, they came over here for asylum because of the disruption down in Haiti. So they're here in Springfield. That's the legal reason that they're going to use to remove them. Now to bring ICE in and do what they're going to do, that's going to be crazy. But how this going to turn out, especially when these Haitians have brought resources and built the economy back up in Springfield, or building it up in Springfield, how are the residents there, those poor folks that voted for Trump, how are they going to feel when their community now is back to garbage? Because the only people they got there making money is really Dave Chappelle. You know, like
That's right.
Well, you know that I'm involved with the Mennonite Church,
right.
and they have a peace witness, and the Ohio Conference has been doing things to strengthen their resolve in supporting the foreign presence, the illegal aliens that they think that these people are saying are illegal, but they very much have been invited into the community, so that don't make them illegal. They're legally there.
No, after
But
the third,
like
they
you
won't
said,
be.
that after the third,
Yeah.
But they have a chance to renew all of that through the courts. But this person said that they're thinking that it's going to be messy, and that this is the first time that ICE will come into a red state. So they picked the state of Ohio. They didn't go to Florida. They didn't go to
Yeah.
Texas. They didn't go to where all of these drug people and the power and all of they're coming to a small, quiet Springfield, Ohio.
But the governor here is worried because he said the businesses
Yeah.
are worried because a lot of the economy is based on the labor that the Haitians give.
Yeah.
Now just think about that statement, right?
Yeah.
So the way to solve this is the same way MLK did, right? You had to affect the economy. We're fighting and shooting and all. Listen, they know how to handle us with guns, and not just us, anybody overall, right? We have to be able to affect the economy. If you affect the economy, people be begging you to end this stuff. Right now, the people that supported Trump, it's not affecting their pockets, so it doesn't bother them. But when it starts affecting their pockets, you'll start seeing a big difference, which is why the governor said here that he's worried of what's going to happen in Springfield, Ohio, because the economy there is based on the labor that the Haitians give.
And there's gonna be big unemployment if he deport him. The unemployment is gonna go sky high in Springfield for that. So again, that could be another break. That could be the beginning of a breaking point there.
I think it is.
You know?
I think that's where you're going to start
You know,
seeing some
that's 2
changes.
weeks. 2 weeks from now. So
Our-
no,
our
I'm glad.
friend
I'm glad
Harvey
you.
is in the chat talking to you, Mark.
Okay, let me look over there and see. I agree. I'm glad you brought that up, Greg. You know about that situation down there. You know, I'm happy you brought that up, because that way we can, you know, just keep an eye on that, address it, knowing that, you know, what can actually happen. So Darren is down that way, not too far. He's up a little bit north, you know, above north of Columbus. But as you said,
What's fascinating is
no,
that
Darren said they are at the breaking point.
There are still people
Yeah.
who support this. I mean, some of the comments is almost unbearable to hear the comments. You think of maybe even the guy supported Trump say, okay, yeah, well, I don't agree with this, but he did this for this reason, trying to make excuses. But instead, they're making just as much harmful statements as he makes. It's almost like,
What's that, EB? You
Uh-oh.
froze up a little bit, buddy.
He froze.
Yeah, he was going in. You froze up a little bit, EB. You want to repeat that?
Yeah, repeat that last statement.
yes, what you say, the people that support Trump are spending more time doing his work than he is,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Going through the media. Matter of fact, it'd be nice to see him on the interview, but you don't have to, because he got enough average people on the interview doing his bidding for him.
But you know he's sick, and they're keeping him out of public view.
Yeah.
He's losing mobility on one side. Now he stands side to side, leaning on the door. You know, you only get to see half of him.
Yeah.
He
You
80
don't
though.
get to
Come on,
see-
Greg. He 80, man. Get it.
Look,
Come on,
I
Greg.
know I'm 70. I'm getting there. I know what it feels like, but I'm not in denial.
Right.
Hey, yeah. I don't even know if I can go there on his age. I mean, dude, 80. He's the one trying to fake like he gonna be able to do another 10 years. Bro, you 80. Bro, you 80.
Yeah, he pushing it. I'm trying to I don't know if Darren want to join the conversation or not, but I'm going to for me right now. I want to
need
see
to
it.
have on this show a Republican who don't mind coming on here
Well,
and showing their face
only reason
to
why
tell the truth.
Nah, we ain't gonna have that. And you know what? You know why I won't. Reason why I don't want that on Great Grace and Progress. I'm not looking for the debate with someone who oppose our viewpoints. I would like for us, like the conversation we're having, is bringing awareness, and also how do we bring some solutions, like you were saying, make legislation to do this. Greg brought up about Springfield. That's something to be aware of, that there's
Right.
people in that area that may be there to stand in the gap, like they're doing here, or like they're doing up in Minnesota. You know, you might have those protesters come down from Columbus and Cincinnati. You know, Springfield is not that big, but when you have a wall of people blocking you from getting to somebody, they've done it in schools already and in workplaces where the residents stand together arm in arm and not letting ICE go in, but ICE just turn around and just leave. And the thing that I want people to understand also when you hear this rhetoric is every time someone is videotaping or interfering is what they will call it, They say that they're doing an investigation and they're tracking down a violent individual that's immigrated here. Now, the thing about that is when they make that statement, they never say who that person is. They never tell you when they have arrested them. Every time they say, these are the people we've arrested, it's like a handful of people. And it's like, you got, how many, 300,000 people in Minnesota that are illegal, or they consider immigrants rather than not illegal, but immigrants? But you only give us a handful of people that you captured already? That's your job. You supposed to get them.
130,000 suspected, right? Surely we all can agree that Florida is a much bigger state. It's about him. It's about his state. It's about breaking his. If he stands up and continue to stand up, no matter what it costs him, because that's why we hire these people.
Yeah.
If he keeps standing up, I think he's going to come out this looking better than anybody, any other public official, as long as he holds steady. But I'm just telling you guys, based on what history shows, in the last few years, it has always been the Democrats who folded. Always.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Always. It's always them fold. They always threatening to do something, and all of a sudden you get a report at 3 a.m. But two Democrats crossed over, right?
No, like I said, you always look at the Democrats have all been trying to do things by the book. But the thing about it is the infighting. It's the infighting that's silent. The sabotaging someone else or sabotaging a policy. And the reason, and a lot of times they're sabotaging a policy because, like, you go back to Joe Manchin and Sinema. They crashed that whole thing about the voting rights bill because of the main fact that they had Republican constituents. So they're Democrat Congress people, but they have a lot of we got my man, he joined the call right quick. Hold on 1 second. Let me get to him right quick.
I sent you a picture of an invite that's supposed to go to the clergy.
Right.
Hey, Darren, long time no see.
I don't mean to. I don't.
But yeah, go ahead. You were saying something, EB? I think you were saying something.
The infighting, and so it's divide and conquer, right? It's Roy Cohn. The way he taught Trump is to divide these people, make them look bad.
Right.
I mean, there's a story where Roy Cohn, because of his anti-gay messages and push, something like 15,000 or more people were dismissed from the federal government.
Right.
What does that sound like?
Right.
So this is Trump's way of doing exactly what he's always idolized. Forget Trump. We have elected officials in place. They can do a number of things, which there might be things that we are not even aware of what kind of legislation they could do. There's almost like they're saying, we're going to wait till the midterms. We're not going to do anything. Tim Walsh now is up under fire.
Yeah.
He knows it. He's going to lose his political career, but guess what? They're going to investigate and indict him anyway. So he's like, well, I don't have anything to lose. If he holds still, he's going to come out looking better than any other hired official in the game right now.
Well, you think about with Walz, going back to him in Minnesota, like one of the agreements or one of the things that the White House is demanding in order to remove ICE is for them to give over voter rolls. That's going to be their, and see, they're going to use those voter rolls to see who's where. They also could use that for voter suppression. You know what I'm saying? That's where they're going to send. Those are the people they're going to send fake propaganda to. All those things, So that's going to happen in a lot of Democratic states that they're looking to force ICE into to disrupt things. What you got, Darren? Good to have you here.
Hey guys, so I had something to say when you said that they're not showing who they arrest. Well, yesterday Bovino had this press conference, I guess it was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think you can call it that, but it was a propaganda session. So he had the guy who they were going after beside him, although they didn't show it on the cameras in the news that I saw. But this is the guy that we were going after, and it's like, well, that's interesting because that person was not even in any of the footage of the incident at all. So it's just like, how is the victim of the incident at all?
Oh,
So,
I saw
and then-
that. I saw that press conference you're talking about too. I did see that.
So then, but then today, Trump was talking, and I don't know. I think I think it was Christy Nome. Somebody said to him off camera that there was 10,000 people that they got from Minneapolis. That's such a lot.
Under the Brooklyn Bridge for you to buy.
Like
Yeah.
Trump was saying, "Oh, we got 3,000 people," and no, she was saying, "No, we got 10,000.
Yeah.
10,000 people that they arrested." Please.
Yeah.
I know it's sad.
Someone else did more by his death than any other death that's happened.
Thank
right?
you. Yes, such a good point. Yeah.
And I got news for you guys. Mars, that's the answer to your question.
Yeah.
That's the breaking point.
Yeah.
Because now there's nothing to find on this guy. There's
Yeah.
nothing to say negative. Even the people that love Trump is trying to find some reason, even though they know it sounds ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the breaking point. I think you'll start seeing some things go the other way.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's what I'm hoping.
Right.
He was a nurse at a VA hospital, right?
Yep. In fact, they gave him a nice set off today in the
Yeah,
hospital.
that
Salute
was
was pretty
beautiful.
nice.
That was
Yeah.
touching.
The heart goes off to this family. I just can't even imagine what it feels like to have to talk about your child in the past tense.
We had another comment from Kurt Davis. He says, "We are already there. Lines have been chosen and shots have been fired. The formal battle hasn't started, but we aren't too far from that kicking off. I'm not saying that I want it all, but that's where we're headed." Thanks for your comment, Kurt.
Yeah,
You know,
I agree with Kurt
Yeah.
completely.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't look at "We Are There" yet because I used, like I told you, I used the what is it? The perception that I don't think that we're there yet because retaliation, when I say it hasn't happened to the other side, they're mentioning little things. You know, they're looking at little things. You know, they're fighting at ICE. They're doing this. I'm talking about when an ICE agent's life is taken
Yeah.
is when there has to
That's
be
a great
some,
point.
and that's why I mentioned,
Great point.
you know, come to the table and talk. Like Greg was saying, there's not no table they're gonna come to, but it's gonna get to a point. It's gonna get to a point. What I'm saying is, it's gonna get to a point where people will demand some type of resolution because we know what can happen. Don't get me wrong, we know what can happen. But what we're saying is that when that does happen, people are going to they're not going to want to just let it just stay crazy and chaotic.
People would rather live in denial than face the truth.
That's real.
Do you think
But
that's
we
going to be the
People-
majority?
People would rather live in denial than face the truth.
I'm saying
Why wait for it to happen when you said that it was coming? We talked about Project 2025, all of 2024, and the vote came in and it still went through.
so.
They didn't believe it was going to happen.
With the people that
So
right now
this-
that see Fat B is greasy, they know it's greasy now. Those are the people. Those are the people we're referring to. The ones that see the fat meat is greasy. They're like, okay, it's
Darren,
real.
look at you like, hey, Darren, that's common in our hood.
But what did we
That's
mention?
hilarious.
But what did we mention earlier, y'all? We mentioned it earlier that people now see non-melanated people notice that what we've been talking about all this time. Those are the people that I'm referring to have gotten to they're reaching that breaking point. We've been there.
Yeah. Yep.
Been there.
You
All I
can't.
can say is that people have to decide who is we. Because we the people,
I agree with that.
we
That's
the
nice.
people.
That's
So
right.
who is we? You have to make a decision
right.
where you at. Look around your home, your family. Is that the we? Your neighbors, is that the we? You have to stand as part of a we because no one person can control it all. And we have one person at the top that thinks that all of the mountains.
When we saw that shooting, just so people could see how much that we included that we. How did you feel, Mars, when you saw that shooting?
Man, it was when I saw the shooting of. Actually, I was on the air. Actually, I was doing the Prim broadcast when I got the notice in. Me and John Stahl was doing a live show on Prim, and I was like, "Man, it's breaking news." He's like, "What?" And I was like, "Another shooting this morning." So I had not seen the video at that point. I was just reading to him what had happened. To be honest, I thought it was a black dude. Honestly, I really did. When they said that was a guy that stepped in to help this lady, I really thought it was a person of color. And I was say, dang, because my thought was that was the breaking point. Because I'm like, we ain't taking it no more. I don't think we're going to tolerate as a nation to go through what we did with George Floyd. I don't think we can handle that type of, because it's going to be times 10 now. And so when I finally saw the video, it shocked me that it even went that far, because I saw them shoot the woman. And I know they knew that she was a lesbian, that Renee Good. So to me, that was the enemy of the administration, in my opinion. When we saw this guy,
Someone not like them.
excuse me,
Someone not like them.
someone not like them, exact. When I saw them shoot this guy, it was the way they took him down. To me, was like, wow, there is no black and white line on this anymore. And that's what Kamala Harris was trying to warn people when she was campaigning. She told you all these things are going to happen, but people were still thinking it's not going to be me. It's not going to be me. When he got shot, I was like, oh, that's the wake up call. That's the alarm. That's the siren. We didn't hear the pushback when Renee Good got shot, but we hear some rewording of stuff now. They send Tom Homey into Minnesota. Donald Trump has a conversation with Tim Walz. We may pull out the troops. You know, he's saying things that he didn't say when Renee Good got shot, because what was his name? Was Predator, right? Predator. What was his first
Let's
name?
make sure we get his name right.
What was his first name?
Freddie.
Freddie. What was his first name? What was the first name? Was it Michael? For some reason I want to say Michael. But
Out of respect for him, let's see each other pull up his name.
Out
of respect for him, I'll make sure we put up his name.
Right. But when he got shot, the ICE officer, he looked just like the ICE officers. If you had put him on an ICE uniform, he would have looked just like ICE. That's where America is torn at right now. Not our America, but the America that was in denial or feeling that we're not actually impacted. Now,
Alex Preddy.
Alex Preddy. Alex Preddy. Apologize.
Alex.
He's that male person that there, you know, this male image that everyone is trying to protect now. He's that guy. He looks just like the guy they say is being discriminated against right now. He's that guy that's anti-DEI. He's that anti-affirmative action. The perception. I'm not saying that's him. I'm saying the perception. And so you shoot him, now you're like, there's no sides anymore like that. Even white men are separated.
What about you, Greg? How did you feel?
Okay, for me, I was helping take care of my dad. I'm listening to
Sorry, I went far in there though.
And
I was gonna make sure we don't run out of time.
Yeah, I was listening to Ali Velci, and I like him as a journalist because he lays down the facts, but he immediately showed the video. And like any other time that I see a life lost, my soul hurts.
Yeah.
I feel that loss, and I welcome another ancestor. And I pray that they then join the team that we have on the other side that's going to bring about change, because we don't have the sense enough to disconnect ourselves from other people's rules and get back to the source of who we are, why we are here, and what we're supposed to be doing.
Awesome. I got
We're so busy running from ourselves.
I got another.
That's just where I was.
I got another update that I haven't seen yet. If you guys can take a look at this, Chris Nemeth from Prim said that he has some breaking news that Bovino is set to retire. Several sources are reporting that this creep is done. Now, if you remember, if you heard I don't know if you guys heard the White House press conference today, but Caroline Leavitt mentioned when they asked her about Bovino when he was like could not really articulate on Dana Bash, you know, what's going to happen when Tom Homan comes in? Is Bavino going to still be in charge, or what?
Trump
And
cut.
so-
Trump cut. Trump cut.
So
He always cuts.
yeah, so right. So
you think he got
Bavino,
fired?
so
Got
Bavino.
fired.
Well,
Yep.
I don't know yet. I haven't read it yet, but the message from Levitt was that Bavino will be relocated to another state.
in Thule, Greenland.
It never changed.
So
what about you? What about you, Darren? How'd you feel?
So when
How'd you feel?
when I saw it, finally saw it, because I was dealing with a house issue. So I looked it up and I couldn't find it readily at first, but I finally, because it's Saturdays, kind of. I don't know why I couldn't find it at first, but like it was in the afternoon before I finally saw it. I was sick. I was sick to my stomach. I was literally, nauseous, and I realized that, and I thought to myself, when you think you've seen it all, and you think you've heard it all, and you think that they've done so many different terrible things, and then this happens, and it's just so blatant. I just couldn't believe it. Like, these guys know that there's dozens of people filming this, like right there, like 20, 50 feet away.
yeah,
And they still did it. And so you think to yourself, this is the United. I just can't believe that this is the United States of America.
Yeah,
I
I'm just
know.
like Darren. I
Yeah.
got sick.
yeah.
I was in a hotel room, and I just got sick. Y'all explained it very well, but I can just tell you that I got sick to my stomach, and I'm still sick. And I have not watched the full video because what I did watch made me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm done. I'm tired of it.
But,
Yeah,
but what do you expect from people who are not trained?
Correct.
Like the lady said, law enforcement. And my father was a deputy chief of police. Every police officer I've ever met, every state patrolman, every the people that the Treasury Department, all of anybody in law enforcement knows that they can't hide their faces. I do not hide my face. I need you to know who I am, because I want the kids to know who they can trust when it's involved with the community. Now, when you're coming out with a mask, you're coming out and hiding who you are, then your intent is always suspect.
Yep.
And
exactly.
professionals
1000%.
don't have to hide.
The update from the White House, from some news articles, are saying that DHS or the White House denies that DHS agent Bavino has been relieved of his duties. So they're denying that right now.
And you believe him?
Well, I don't. I'm just telling you what was there, because I came out and said, this person said blah blah blah. Now I'm coming back to correct what I said earlier, because
I don't want to see that on.
So you gotta.
I
I mean, he probably will be fired. But what I'm saying is, as of right now, there's no public official notice saying he's been fired. So I just wanted to correct that for the broadcast.
I think the woman's gone. I think she's gonna be gone by the end of next week.
No, Christy, no.
No doubt in my mind, because then
so?
he could say, "We cleaned it up." That makes it look like everything has been straightened out.
That's a Trump move, right?
No, see,
That's a Trump
the
move.
thing. I'd like to see them go, but my fear is who they're going to replace him with. Could be even worse.
Well, that's gonna happen. We got 4 minutes. I'm gonna hit two things right quick. And you guys let me know what your thoughts is on this right quick. Because we kind of went past. We stuck on this actually topic for like 50 minutes, but I want to bring one more thing in here for you. And you let me know what your thoughts are about this, because we're dealing with this as we talk about this situation.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, confused, and stuck with AI, you are not alone. The most common thing I see is that people are on top of the trending prompts, the trending AI tools, but they still fail to make any fundamental progress on their business or their main goal. Problem is your bias is towards consumption. You think watching TikTok videos is doing the work, but it's not. You need to fix that, have a bias towards action, get off social media for like 1 to 2 weeks, and instead take that time time dedicated to building the thing that you're trying to do. Nobody's going to save you. AI is not going to save you. You have to carve out the time to actually sit down and do the work. Let's say your goal is to build an app. What that means is instead of scrolling AI TikTok for 2 hours every day, literally delete TikTok and spend that 2 hours building with AI coding tools.